we're kikiing and hanging out with Riss today, aka at Riss Being Dramatic. If you want to write your name in chat too, he doesn't stream, but he is a musician and he's on Instagram and Spotify. So please follow him there. And we're gonna just talk a little bit about music because he's released one song that's really good, and he's gonna release more. But he's still newer to releasing stuff. So we're gonna talk about just like questions he has, things that he's done, who he is, period. We're going to play a snippet of some of his new music. 44 seconds. 44 whole
seconds.
44 whole seconds.
Honey, yeah, that's like 25% of a track.
Listen though, I only played 2 seconds. 2 seconds into the track, I was like, ooh, I love this. I saving my reaction for stream, but oh shit. I just deleted you.
Dude. Good.
You're back. He's back. So, let me just say hi. Hi, everybody. Hi again, Ross. Hi, Hifa. Hi, TSV again. Hi, Major.
Work. Hi, my name is Riz. Well, I have the right to talk right now. And
Take it. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about, we'll just get the basics. Like, so you just finished school.
I just finished school, so I just got my grades back as well, and she performed really nicely. It's like
Yes. I love it.
But basically, yeah. So I just finished school in like May, and since then it's kind of been like the full-time musician kind of job. Well, the full-time self-employed artist who's also like
Right.
doing like, other work and like a bunch of other work that's
Same.
like really, like music related and like also a little bit of music related and kind of like shifting things and just being very confused all the time. So that's kind of the vibes.
Did you go to school for music, like specifically?
I went to school for songwriting.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was that like? Because I don't know if we have. I mean, obviously, I'm sure we have that here in the U.S. But you like, did you go then to a more like specific performing arts school, or was it just a
Honey,
university?
so many. You actually like the US has so many. It's like actually stupid. But like yeah, I went to like I went to like a songwriting. So yeah, I went to songwriting uni, like specific songwriting uni. And
Oh,
before that, I had always been doing music, and so like I'm originally from Bulgaria, so then I moved for uni and everything, and then like I had always been doing music, but never in school, never in like any kind of institution. So that was kind of the first time that I was like doing music in an actual place of study, and it
mm,
was a very like I think a curious way of yeah. It was weird. It was weird because before that I had been writing for like just a year, and some people were like writing for like years and years and years, and it was like the first year was like tough. It was like
right. You feel like
it
out of
was
your depth.
like those healthy comparisons, like those oh my god, those healthy comparisons with everything I just did.
But do you
It,
feel like you've avoided that now that you have the years, or in a way maybe it's gotten worse because you're like, oh shit, now I really got to prove myself.
so I think it's gone. I think it's gone both ways. I think it's gone both ways because
Oh,
I've
happy
we
Pride.
uh, we're vers no, no, we really not. Yeah, so well, basically, we in a way, it has happened that like I compare myself much less with people because I'm like, you know what, everyone's on their own journey and everyone's like, and it's such a dumb like stupid old cliche to say that, but then when you kind of I
It's
like you can
true.
definitely see that you can as well in music. It's kind of like you're literally doing nothing one day, and then in the next week, someone contacts you, two people contact you for something that you've put out
Hmm.
somewhere like, super randomly, or someone that you've reached out to super randomly, and it's like, and you're like your entire week is like full with
Right.
like you never intended, like and never had any idea. So it's kind of like you can never kind of compare anyone's current situation to anyone else's current situation and be like, oh, this person is doing objectively better than this. Like it's so subjective because it's music
Right.
that is that as soon as you kind of internalize that idea in your head, it's yeah, are there certain factors that some people can be maybe doing like a little bit, maybe a little bit further ahead than you, like as where you are right now, sure, but that doesn't, but also like it's yeah, it's human, and it's like yeah, it's absolutely normal, it's absolutely fine. There's people before you, there's people ahead of you, there's people behind you, there's people around you, there's people who haven't even started, there's people at the top right now. It's like
Exactly.
compare yourself with everybody. It's just it's just opening the door to so much mental health, like so many like mental health issues, and it's like I'm still like there and like battling that, and like but
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't know, conscious, I feel like being conscious about it is like a big thing. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, and like what you were saying earlier with kind of like work ethic, it's like you'll have a week where, yeah, maybe you don't do that much and you feel like shit because you're like, oh my God, I only worked like 2 hours a day this week, or maybe not even that. But then the next week, all of a sudden, like you said, something happens and it's like, I'll look at you down here. I'll look at you down here. We're literally, so we had some Skype issues where it wouldn't split the screen. So we're on an Instagram muted video call right now. And then I don't have my camera in Skype, but I wanted him to see me and he wanted to see me because why not? Obviously. No, but just because I didn't want it to be like awkward. Because I've done chats before where you can't see the other person and it feels awkward. But
Talking to my computer and it's like I can, yeah, I have it. I do enough of that when I cry by myself at night. It's fine.
yeah. But I was gonna say, yeah, and then there's other days, or like then these opportunities come and you're like, well shit, I'm working 12 hours a day, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours a day, this whole week, just between, your regular admin stuff, your regular work, your regular whatever. And now this opportunity on top of it. So you're like, okay, it's okay when I have these slow months of like 3 hours a day. I mean, slow weeks, slow months, where I have like 3 hours a day, because some weeks I'm working like 16 hours. So if you average it out, bitch, I'm still working more than most people. And I need to give myself some applause for that. P.S. Hi, OE, and hi, Graphic, saying that out loud. There probably is, Russ, but I don't know if that would help. What was I going to say?
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like, and then the other thing is like, and which I'm like also like getting into the routine of right now, because like, okay, because I may have had just like 3 years in uni, but then I was working part time, so I had like zero free time.
Right.
But now I'm finding myself having so much free time that like I still haven't like found like a specific role for it. What?
Oh, I just clicked something, and I keep forgetting that every time I click, I take you out of the window.
Oh.
But we can still hear you.
Great. So just being like all that free time, like you can.
If I ever say "oop," just ignore me. Continue.
All right, cool. Just like, and you've just like, yeah.
Yes.
Nothing. Basically, like you can just like spend so much. Like if you have free time, if you get kind of in the routine of like learning and like trying to kind of better your craft, because like songwriting, playing something, production, performance, like there's always something that's like if you have free time, like there's, and it's not about the idea of like filling your entire free time with like something like some sort of chore to do, because it's like it shouldn't be like a chore and stuff. And
Right.
is it if you turn your kind of like mental well-being from like, is it like your mental like ideas of like, oh, I'm working, I'm doing admin stuff and things, and then I have my free time where I'm like chilling, and that kind of chilling, if that chilling kind of starts transforming into like learning some stuff, like maybe seeing if there's any more opportunities for you. And it's like it's exhausting though sometimes, but I don't know, it's that kind of freelance, like semi-freelance life that's like, oh, it would be so much easier to just like get signed and like have like some daddy label that just like pays for
Right.
everything.
Just give me money, but also let me have my creative freedom.
Yeah, it's like not really. Yeah, that no. So we don't do that. So yeah. So and that I don't know. It's fine, but it's like, but it's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, and then I realized, I was like, wait, 1 second, let me I'm always like doing 18 things at the same time. I wanna just tweet something out. The playback on this is gonna be such a mess. Because it's like I keep making you disappear. I'm just gonna retweet this real quick.
I think I got really dark. Did I get dark?
I don't know, it might automatically update. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe if you close like that little white curtain a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Ross suggested that earlier, but I was like, I don't know if it'll help, but now I think it might. Because I was like, I don't want it to make it worse. Is there like a little thing you can pull? I don't know.
I like pulled a little bit of it. I like reduced the light.
Actually, that might have helped, yeah.
I look so dark now. It's like
It'll
that
fix.
that looks more controlled.
It does.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a dungeon. Dungeon under.
I mean, depends on how much you're paying me, honestly.
Yeah, he's volunteering his time, y'all.
Honey, I can say it.
Let me give you a shout out in the stream one more time before we play. I'm gonna play your song that's already out, which is called Poppy. So this is Riss. He's a pop artist. Well, actually, how would you describe your music?
I would describe it as like synth pop with like dramatic synth pop. That's like, it does have like queer over like undertones, but it's like but like I'm still figuring out like how much of that like like that queerness and like how it's kind of coming through. But then like 100% is like dramatic synth pop, like very like euphoric, very like like woe is me kind of vibes. Yeah, just
It
like
is. That's
super.
perfect. Like,
So
because I've heard the music, I can say that, like, wow, that you know your own music. What a surprise.
come on, come on, positioning, come on, brand
Come
positioning.
on, brand positioning. Okay, so I'm going to play a little snip.
Cool.
Oop, that's not it.
And now you play yourself. Just
And
like
here's my song moments.
after it's like sauce.
Okay, let me turn it up.
Ooh, she's great.
Yeah, if you have like a little light in front of you that you could put on.
I have a light. Yeah.
Or maybe
actually.
even above you. Anyway, everyone listen. Never bothered planting.
Just like a woman.
Yeah, that's cute.
That's better. That's better.
You look super tan now.
I'm actually so pale. I don't know where we are. Can I lip sync to it? Can I? Where are we? Where are we in the song?
He can't hear it, so he's such a good lip syncer. I'm tired of blaming you.
This is like very good.
You look like Linda Evangelista. Right, Owie? But so you did get some press for this. You pitched yourself a little bit, correct?
Yeah, I pitched like yeah, I think I sent out. So basically, I think I pitched it to about 30 with 30 people. With 30 people, I sent out emails. And on Submit Hub, like I went a little bit out. I think I pitched to like 90 blogs because I was like getting desperate. And they were like, nope.
Yeah, they all say no. And how did you feel about that? Like, were you like, well, I know my song is good, or did you kind of get like, oh fuck?
So basically, what happened was that I was getting like the same feedback on Submit Hub because like the emails weren't responding, but like on Submit Hub I was getting pretty much the same feedback again and again and again. And I was like,
which was what? Like, what were people saying? Do you remember?
So yeah, so people.
You're like, yeah, I was scarred by it. I remember.
It's like I still haven't written anything since. I'm kidding. But basically, the main thing was like the vocal wasn't polished enough for the pop direction. Like so, like the vocal production wasn't like up to like a pop standard.
Okay.
And then
okay.
And then the mix was like a little bit muddy and but then the mix was like a little bit muddy. And they were like, we love the production, we love the song, apart from a few that were like a bit boring, but like apart from like those which I was like, yeah, we love the production direction, we love the song, but like it's just not where it should be right now, but like we're looking forward to like new stuff. So it was like, not gonna lie, like a lot of the feedback that I received was like really like uplifting.
Also,
like,
wait, 1 second, can we talk about this bass moment?
What?
When you go to the low register, oh, and then you bring it back in. I was having it play lightly under you. So continue. Sorry to interrupt. I just needed to highlight my favorite part.
That's okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's absolutely. I have all the time for that. But yeah, and so yeah, and like that was a submit Hub feedback, and then like, and I just literally just like got like two like playlist listings from it, which was like whatever, and then from the emails I got like a premiere, which was like, I don't know. I mean, it was like good for me, like, and it was like with like a small like tastemaker blog. Then I also got, and then the other one, I didn't even get it through an email. I DM'd like a friend of mine who like I didn't actually realize does that. And she like, and I was like, oh, can you like give me some suggestions to like suggest like some blogs that I should pitch to? And she was like, yeah, sure, yeah, I can do that. And like she never did that, but like she was like, sure, I can do that. But also, do you want me to like feature you on our thing? And I was like, yes, please.
You're like, of course. Here's the thing, like getting any press is so cool because even if it's not like the biggest thing that gets you placed, it's still like you're on the internet, number one. It's SEO. It gets more link backs to you and your music, but also it's something to share with people that just makes you feel more official and makes them see you as more official, because they also don't know like what all the big names are unless you're a Billboard or Rolling Stone. Like people don't know like if it's a big blog or a tastemaker or how much it was getting you plays or whatever. So, and also there's a lot of great tastemaker blogs that don't get you that many. Like I'm always super excited to get on High Clouds. Does it get me that many plays? No, but like they're on Hypem. I think they're super sexy. I think they're a super cool site. So every time that I get on there, every single time that I've been on there, all three times, I've loved it.
Just like just basking in it.
So let me play a little snippet of your new song. Well, actually, first tell us about Vulnerable, whatever you want to share. So that first song was called Poppy, and it's on Spotify and SoundCloud and everywhere else. And then Vulnerable, is this your next single or just like another one that is in the works?
That's my next single. Like you can stream Poppy, by the way. Like just like if you're in the mood for like an 8-hour playlist, I'm not stopping you. But with Vulnerable, okay, so I would say they were both written with the idea, like I shifted like two guys together, my experiences with two guys, because I've never actually had like a relationship, but then I've dated people. I've like dated people, and then I'm like in general I'm just really dramatic and really sensitive, so like I blow up way much more in my head. So it's kind of like so I basically like combined like my experiences with the two of them and like made up a lot of stuff, and then and like
you gotta do that, and you gotta like, I remember one of my friends said something like, she wrote a song where it was something about like 30 days no text no call. I was like, oh my god, did he really not text you back for 30 days? And she was like, no, it was like 3, but it's a song, like you gotta exaggerate.
Of course you have to exaggerate. Yeah. I'm not gonna stay like 2 a.m. like and cry over like 3 days no text no call, like,
right.
Yeah. That's like, yeah, I've like left people right now in like 3 days. Anyway, so Vulnerable.
They're watching you. They saw that.
Hi, Mom. So she knows. But so basically, yeah. So the idea is like it's like a more polished kind of version of like that dramatic synth pop kind of thing, and you're gonna listen to like the intro and like a couple of verses, and it should like hopefully, fingers crossed, like set it up very nicely, and yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think I'm really hopeful that like I want to do more with it, and I think it can do more than Poppy. I think Poppy was a great first like map, but then like this one is like a great second and like follow up. It's like
So after we play it, then we'll kind of talk a little bit about, I guess, like what you're thinking of doing for promo, and then we can talk about genres, and people can ask questions and all that stuff. So let's play this snippet. And I'm sorry that I didn't prep this all enough, y'all, so that I would have what I meant to do. And then after we started, I totally forgot because we were live. So then I was like, well, it's too late. I was going to have like, because right now the way it works is where I have you in like a desktop. Like I'm basically just copying my desktop. So every time I click into a new app, it covers you up. But I was going to do where it takes you from the desktop, but then have another desktop thing separate. But I clearly failed at that. But anyway...
Hello to your boyfriend. No, it's okay.
I know, right? Blame him.
We won't judge it in your face for it. So
blame him. Okay, how do I get back to the chat? Oh, here it is. Oh no! Oh wait, can you send it to me again? Because oh wait, no, I can scroll up. I was like, our call disappeared, or like our history disappeared. Okay, it's playing right now.
Hear it? I'll not hear. I won't hear it.
You won't hear it.
But then like stop at like 44, because like after that it's like
I will.
No. Yeah.
Oops, I just took another snapshot of us.
Oh, thanks. Cheers. Yeah, that one specifically.
Okay, let me start it over. Y'all ready? This is Vulnerable by Riff.
I'm just not move.
Yeah. So sexy already.
I could tell you that somebody loves me. I could tell you that I'm happy now. But my voice will crack and let me down.
Woo! Come on, writing. Oh my god.
I could lift my chin, look at the sky, and feel another tear subside. But I gotta let you know.
Okay, I had to stop. I had to stop it at 44. I went to 45 seconds because I'm sorry, I had to squeeze out one more second. Fuck, that is so good. Oh my god. This is not even mixed, or like this isn't even finished. Like, hello? Is that beginning part finished? Like,
It needs more like quantizing and stuff. I don't want to sound like a robot, but I want to kind of sound like I want to sound like a sexy, like sultry robot that like people can like empathize
I get
with,
what you mean. I thought you meant like just like timing. I'm like, timing sounds good. Oh my god, yeah, no, that was so good. What was that line? Wait, one of these lines hit different. Oh, when you said the voice crack.
Yeah. Go, we liars know each other. It's like
Oh my god, so good, so good.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been sitting on it for so long, and like my producer is like a magician, and he really like got things like yeah, like we developed it so much like further. He's like amazing, and
Did
but
you
yeah, anyway.
did you find your producer in through like school, like a classmate?
Yeah, we were in the same class for like a year and a half, and like I for like the person for Poppy was like somebody else, and I love him to bits and everything. And like we started Vulnerable, but then in the middle of the not in the middle, but like in the beginning of the creative process, I was like, this is not feeling very like just for the song, it's not feeling like very like right, like congruent with like what I want for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna make a decision, and I made the decision. I was a bad bitch then, and then it took it like I've taken my sweet time for the song, but like it's fine. I think
Yeah.
it's okay.
No, I mean that's how I felt with releasing Happily Ever After. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna pay someone to work on this, it has to be like the perfect match.
Like
And
it has to,
especially if
like,
I'm gonna pay like a lot
how
of
much
money.
did you pay? Can you say it?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I literally paid it. So I paid $2,500 for the producer, but he actually did so much work. And he has like charted as an artist. Like he's gold. He has tons of credits. But it's New York City. He's like a professional. Has been doing it for like 10 years. And then I paid $500 for mixing and $200 to master. So that's why I do it myself. Every other song I did completely myself. To be fair though, it was worth it. And not even necessarily because like I feel like the song's doing well or whatever. I just feel like the amount of time he spent on it and the care and his professionalism and the relationship was just like.
Did you work on it together as well, or did you?
Yeah, so I came to him with a draft basically of like, here's like what I've plopped out so far and kind of how I want it to sound. Some of the sounds in the final version are actually like from what I did, and like some background vocals and stuff. So yeah, he just kind of like helped me make it extra poppy and extra boomy and all of that stuff, because I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna make my first and maybe only for a long time like pop song, like I want it done right, and I want it to be something that I can just have on my resume and, you know, bite the bullet and just be like, hey, if you think my other stuff is shit, here's what I can do at like the highest level, or like a real high level.
The other thing is like also like because at the end of the day, like you've got this high product, like high quality product, and it's like at one point like it's syncable, you can do things with it, and it's like, and even like yeah, like I think it was worth it. Like knowing kind of the situation, the way that you described it, like it sounds like it was like the right decision for you. Like I would rather like sell my like body parts, and like I'm like very close to kind of like
onlyfans.com/riskbeingdramatic.
honey, I'm there. We're making it now. Like let's like live stream like how I make that. Like, let's just live stream how I take my pictures. Just like brown flowers everywhere.
First pictures. Oh my god, brown flowers. Some are pink.
I mean, we don't all bleach our ass. Never. So so basically, I will never be on like a talk. Well, yeah. I really need some like talk show host like coaching. I feel cause like
I talk about this stuff the whole time. I did like I've like live reenacted how to wash your butt when you're still on the toilet, so like it's fine. Which if we need round 3, I'll show y'all, but not right now. We're busy.
Like all my straight girlfriends are like, so how do you do that? So how do you do that? I'm like, girl, 3-hour workshop later. It's like we're basically doing like a get ready with me. But anyway.
I love that. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel that too. I was kind of just like, I was also had been just so down on my own music and doing it myself because I was like completely self-taught with production. So I was just like, I don't feel like any of the music I released is good. And then actually Twitch is when I started feeling like, oh, it is good, because people started responding to it and being like, no, I really like that song. I like this song. And I'm like, wow, I only literally spent 24 hours on that one. That's why it's called a bonus demo. And it's my like second, or I guess now third most popular song out of 6. So it made the top 6 and I spent 24 hours on it. Meanwhile,
Which one is that? This is not
self-love
the
shit. I literally did that in like 24 hours. I'm sure you could tell if you listen.
Bro, I could guess in the stream.
But yeah, so I was just like, you know, I just want to do it right. And I barely work on music, like you were saying. Like there's just no time. Because if you're running a business and you're streaming and you're trying to make music and you're trying to like have a boyfriend and you're trying to eat and you're trying to have go to the gym, girl, I fail at all, like at least 3 of those.
It's very funny that you mentioned that, because even like that, like I'm like not dating right now, and I'm like, for one, yeah, sure, like I might be like an emotional wreck and all that, but then again, like I'm like don't have the time, like I need to spend the time on like my other stuff. But then like with my eating as well, like I have literally been eating. I went to the supermarket today and I bought the exact same stuff that I've been buying for the past 4 months and a half, maybe 6. That like I've been like I'm like not changing anything, and it's like I'm not working out anymore. It's like it's weird. It's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you it's just impossible. Like I haven't been eating this week. Like I had water for breakfast a couple days ago. And I feel like I have like a good relationship with food. Like it's not necessarily like I'm afraid of eating or something, but I just don't care half the time.
Yeah.
But we don't have to get into that.
Conversation. That's dark conversation.
This is now an eating stream, and your relationship with your body and food. Who wants to come on live next? So I guess, what are your plans? What have been your questions with like marketing your next single, or like things that you have? I know you've been here for a couple streams for like social media stuff and also for like the ads. So I guess, yeah, like more of the social media side of things. But were there other things that you kind of just had questions about, like marketing or finding your own publicist or like anything that?
So what we talked about last week, like I remember, like apart from like promoting Brazil, we definitely, like I think definitely for this single or for the next one, because the next one, like it's written, it's not produced, but it's written. And I'm like, I want to see if I want to find a publicist, if it's like going to be worth finding a publicist, like. And I'm like, not, oh hello, oh my god, but like we'll have to, we're gonna have that talk. But
yeah. I mean, I always do deals for my friends too, so you ain't gotta stress about money. But
oh yeah, but like the New York deals though.
What'd you say?
The New York deals, though, honey.
Yeah, the New York deals.
That New York standard of living. But no, yeah, we can have that discussion. But so yeah, because the other thing is like, because what I'm getting is also like, yeah, so because where I'm finding myself is also like a little bit of that conflict of like, is it worth paying like publicists to maybe get me some proper press? But then is that proper press actually going to follow up to stuff if like my social media numbers aren't on point right now, to the point where my listeners are like listening to this song consistently and like again and again,
right.
the same. That's gonna like, because like according to like current ideas of how the algorithms work, like for like any kind of like listeners, it's that obviously like streams from people who are like coming back, like returning listeners are much like more highly valued than just like new listeners. So it's like buying streams and stuff, it's like there's no point in it, because
right.
It's like, apart from like a little bit of a thing of to be like, I have like 1 million like things, and then you have like 3 followers.
Right.
There's
really, a lot of people like that too. And I think that I had a brain fart while I was interrupting you.
Oh no, just fine.
The best. I was gonna say, you can pay like $25, $30, $40, $50 to get on like some big playlist that's gonna get you like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 listeners. But like you said, it's really not gonna get you followers, because even if they're real people, they don't really care. Like most of them are there because of bot action or like something. Like it's hard to explain, because some people have like big playlists that you buy to get on, and they're not necessarily fake people, but they're still kind of like tainted in some way.
Well, they're inactive people, or they're like, yeah, it's like inactive people or something. Or even if they're active, realistically, even if they're active, like you're not kind of, the thing is like if you're buying your place like on like streams and stuff like that, you're literally just buying a number, because you're not, because none of those listeners are going to return. Like even if like a very small
Right. The
portion.
conversion is extra small, like way extra
Oh
small.
yeah, because it's like even if a little bit of them, like a tiny portion of them are actually part of your target audience, which is like the chance is like not that great. It's
Right.
like even then they're gonna be like, well, I'm found through that. Like, do I really care? It's like, yeah, sorry, I had like 6 sausage rolls today. It
But
wasn't a
yeah,
great,
no,
it
that
wasn't
makes
a bad.
sense. And that's why I started wanting to do more like social media ads too, because it's like
Mhm.
that's the more real. If you want to buy followers, buy real followers. And the only way to do that is through like Instagram and Facebook. And like I was showing on my stream last week, like I spent, I don't know, $10 and I made like $1.50 worth in streams, and I didn't get any followers, but I think I just, wasn't necessarily targeting right. I'm still optimizing that. But if you think about like, okay, well, I got like 200, 300 new streams. I got like 50, 60 new listeners from paying $10. Like
Right.
the better you get at doing that, then there's no need to buy a playlist when you can just put yourself in front of real people, especially if you target it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, so like talking about that, great segue. So like in terms of ads, the ads that I'm planning to run. So with regard to the ads that I'm planning to run, I'm thinking of running 2 to 3 ads, depending on whether I actually get a video out. Because I'm not still 100% sure about the video, because we're gonna see how that body dysmorphia is like feeling at that point. But apart from that, like one ad would be running like as soon as the thing is actually out. So like as soon
Hmm.
as it's out, we're targeting 18 to 34 LGBT people and allies, people who like Carly Rae Jepsen. Ali X sadly doesn't come up on these things on
I don't
Instagram,
think
which is
so.
a
No.
shame. Like Troye Sivan comes up, so that's okay. So and like some artists like that, like people who follow Pride and things, but also like people who like independent music and like up and coming artists.
Someone took notes. My gosh. Teach me.
And then doing like London and Brighton, because Brighton is another like gay like center in the
Yeah.
UK. And potentially, honestly, just like probably doing Brazil, and I'm probably gonna like harass and abuse you for like more like just local, like to like promote it. But
Sounds
that's kind
good.
of about but that's about the idea. And it's like with what you were saying, that like that really kind of aligned with my research previously as well. So it's like you're not necessarily looking to like pump out like 10 or 20 pounds like a day for like 3 days, because it's like because the algorithms can't start being effective for you. And like algorithm isn't this like horrible word of like something that's there to harm you. Like it's not there to harm you, it's just there to
Right.
kind of streamline content.
Although in a way they did like they use their algorithms to make us have to spend money.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like the algorithm it's it's not a bad thing inherently, but it can be used for evil or good. And
yeah,
they use it
yeah,
both ways.
yeah. It's very like it's a very ambivalent. So in that kind of sense, so I'm gonna run that for like some time, like a fair bit of time, like with the link being like the link would probably, I would say the link might be my hyperfollow page or whatever it is, so that it can directly like follow to my streams. Because otherwise, if I'm promoting something like, even if, okay, on Tuesday
Yeah,
for
that's a good
example.
idea because then if they like it would definitely be harder to convert, but then everyone who does convert would be more valuable because they're automatically going to follow you on Spotify and whatever.
Yeah, because the thing is, because technically, like, the other option is to just direct them to your like Instagram page. And like, to be fair,
Or
that might.
Spotify directly. You could put in any link.
Hmm, to be fair, Instagram depends. I think Instagram could also be a good idea, realistically, depending on your content, like depending on how engaging your content is, I would say.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like your song right now is stronger than your content overall, and like that your song, by someone listening to your song, they might get more grabbed by it, like at least like hopefully save it, or at least listen to it like more times than by
That's a
like
good
looking
point.
at your profile at that point in time specifically. Make your decision. So
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's a good point. You just weigh your things. Like, okay, is this song better than my pictures? And my pictures better than my song right now.
Yeah, did I glow on those pictures, or did I?
Right.
And you guys, I have to tell you, like Kisos like helped me so much with hashtags, and like I've been using that. Like I haven't like really posted so much,
I know, I
but
noticed. I feel like you haven't but we'll say then we had 100% success rate with what I
oh,
told you.
Funny, I know I posted another one with similar hashtags,
Did
and
you?
like and it got less, but it got like 1,400 engagement from hashtags.
Wow.
The first one got like 2,000 engagement from hashtags, and like the like ratio was pretty much the same. So it's like,
Hire me.
honey, if like,
I'm not.
come on,
Well, I mean, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody.
come on, social marketing.
This
Like,
isn't a selling myself stream. It's getting to know people and talking about stuff. But
he
I mean,
didn't.
the work speaks for itself, ladies.
I promise he didn't brief me for this. Yeah, my Monzo says otherwise, but it's fine. Basically, so I would run. You don't have Monzo there, anyway. So
It
we're
applies, Jolie.
so we're gonna run. So I'm gonna run that ad for like a little bit, for like a while, and then depending on what I have afterwards, if I get the video out for like in like 10 days, 10, I was gonna say 10 business days, in like 10 days, if I get the video out, right? So I cancel out that ad, or like I just set it out to run for that specific time, and then I put it with the video, because the video is going to be directly more engaging for Instagram than that.
Yeah.
And similar target audience, I would say, maybe. And then for the last one, like maybe I would do like an acoustic version at home with like this kind of lighting, but like my phone, because the camera is better.
Right.
And just maybe like I'm gonna produce it. It's gonna be a bit self-made. We'll see. And like that kind of thing, that kind of idea.
Yeah, no,
So
I mean, that sounds perfect. That's literally what I did for Happily Ever After. So I released the track, then I have the official video came out, and I have an acoustic video dropping on Wednesday. But I only did it in one take, so it's a mess. Like we were like stressing because we literally didn't have time to film it. They had to ship the camera back, and if we didn't make it in time, we would have had to pay to like rent it for like we would have had to pay shipping because we were kind of using it under the radar. And we would have had to basically we would have been fucked. It wouldn't have been just about $1,000 to rent the stuff. It would have been a mess.
I swear to God, everything's so expensive. Like it's actually so expensive. Like how
Yeah.
do you not without a
We got it
shipping
for free. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ. Because my roommate works in film, so
Yeah.
he was basically able to borrow it for like half a day between film shoots before they had to send it back to the people that they rented it from. But they weren't
Yeah.
allowed to use it for other projects, so I probably shouldn't have said that. It's okay. There's no one paying attention. Well, none of them are going to be paying attention.
We can just skip that. You can just skip when you save this.
Yeah, I'll edit and cut. Yeah, and it was a great video.
It's like great video. We recapped in like 3 minutes. It's good.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, that's all good, and like the releasing the video is definitely what gets the most press, because like audio's cool, audio's good on Submit Hub and stuff, but like having the video, I wouldn't have gotten Billboard Pride, like my own thing, without a video, and I wouldn't have got probably like New Now Next without a video. Maybe I would have, but some of these bigger, especially the LGBT ones, because they want video, they want you looking cute, they want that stuff for their thirsty viewers.
They want that sex appeal somehow to like.
Yeah.
They want to market like young meat, and
Yeah.
Hey,
That's why I don't tell them my age. Yeah, I'm 22. I just graduated from college.
Oh my God. But basically, like where, for example, like where I'm having issues right now is that I'm a little bit kind of conscious about like what I'm gonna do with like the press stuff, because like that's how I did it previously, and like I'm gonna run it by you, and like you tell me like how you feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
I go on Hype Machine with like my competition artists, and like I go
Right.
to like wherever I've identified like that and stuff like that, and I see who's written about them, and I find them, and I find their emails, and I normally can like find their actual emails as well, like they're not the personal emails, but like their actual.
Mm-hmm.
And can just do, and then I can just basically like tell them, hey, I found you through this article that you did on this person who I really like, and like I really like their music, I really like whatever message it is, like something genuine, like it's serving up, but it can still be genuine, and then I'm like, I thought you might enjoy this, and like here's my thing, and here's my this and that and that and that, but I have some different ideas for this time. So, but the thing is, like, I'm just afraid that like I'm just gonna get the same amount of press like last time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like the song is like subjectively better,
and it takes so much work to do that research, so much time. You can't copy and paste that shit.
No, you can't. You really can't. Like you need to maybe pick a recent artist also. Like I'm increasing my database with every kind of release. Like even now, like I have a database already with like everyone that I'm that I'm contacting, like that I contacted before, like who I
Mhm.
contacted him because of, and like maybe I can contact him because of the same person. Maybe I'd rather update it with newer artists. I'm not sure right now, but yeah.
But
The wow.
continue.
Well, what I'm thinking about now is that I was receiving a lot of different feedback about kind of, oh no, you should send your press release like as a link. You should send your press release as an attachment. And I'm like,
Mm.
God. And now actually with that publicist that got me the press release, I was like, do you know what? Like she was like, just here's Mailchimp, here's like a platform that you can literally like embed your press release as a PDF in your actual email, so that it's like as easily kind of digestible as possible. And I was like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on like getting presses like as best as possible?
Yeah, I actually don't usually include a press release because I just kind of I make it kind of short and sweet. I have some copies of it. I mean, obviously, I can send them you separate too. But for anyone curious out there, if you go to my week one of this, I show some example press releases, but then how I transfer that over to an email. So instead of attaching, I think you could say like for more info, click here. I do that for like a bio at the end. So I kind of say like, let's say it was you. It's, Riff releases his new sexy track, Vulnerable, Born to Make You Cry, blah blah blah, with like some tagline, something. Here's the thing, because press releases are technically supposed to be kind of just like information cut and dry, so that's why I do things a little more flowery.
Mm.
You do a little more clickbait, not clickbait, but a little bit
Oh
more like,
yeah, like
you
something
know
that they can extract and use because they're
sexy.
lazy. Everyone's lazy. Like and like I'm lazy. Everyone's lazy. You're lazy. And it's like
Oh,
they want
it's
something
true.
to copy. No, no, but the idea that like they want something to copy and paste. They want something to be like, oh, this is an eye-catching title. I need to change like one word because it's like whatever.
Right.
But like, and it's like, or like they don't even have to change anything. Like they're not going to be like accused of copying anything. Like they got you pressed.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, yeah. But like about, I'll be very curious to see actually what you like, what those emails, what like just like the email is. Like that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, just the basic outline is like, kind of here's like a sexy little tagline about the song. Listen to it. Like, let me know if you want to feature slash premiere. Second paragraph is kind of like maybe depending what I wrote in the first paragraph,
yeah,
a little bit more info on you, or like not a full bio, but just kind of like you, accomplishments, any like press quote, something like that. And then at
mm,
the end, it's kind of, I usually bring it back to like the song, just, to wrap things up and just be like, oh, here it's part of this album, or it's coming out of this, or it follows this thing that happened, or, you know, just
yeah,
anything looking more to the future. And then I say, okay, cover it. And then under that, I put a picture. I have like on top of the picture, like your links, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, whatever you have. Okay, Yedis. And then under that, I usually have like more info that is a little like it's more bio under the picture. So whatever I didn't get to, but is still like good to know about you, I put under that. And then usually with a link to more. So you could click to like a full press release there, or just like a full bio. And people definitely, like you said, they don't want to do work. So they copy and paste the press release, and they still copy and paste my email. There are some times where they'll be like, oh, do you have like a more full press release? And I'm like, yeah, but it's pretty much the same. But I send it to them and then they copy that instead. But that's usually like the smaller blogs that do that type of stuff, just because
yeah.
it's not as journalistic. But I mean, I'm surprised at places that do that, and then either the SEO is really good when I write it or something, or that site is bigger than I thought, because some of those like small sites that just regurgitate are the
Yeah.
ones that come up on the first page, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, I mean, yeah,
As
yeah.
long
No,
as it's there.
what does SEO mean specifically? I
Search
keep heard.
engine optimization. So it's basically like if you used to search me, if you used to type in Kisos on
Yeah,
Google, it would be like maybe one article, maybe, or more like maybe a link to Spotify, and then two links to like some place in Israel, and then like another link to some defunct Greek social organization, and then a few links to kiosk, musical group, and all of that stuff. So the more press that I've gotten now, especially since releasing the video for Happily Ever After, is really what
yeah,
pushed me over the edge. it's like you Google me and it, for the first like 10 pages, there's something about me. But especially like the first two are like links to my music, links to my Twitter. I have my like music panel. I have, you know, Billboard, Atwood, like all of these things. So now when you search Kisos, I am the #1 Kisos in the world. So that's what it is. It's just getting everything to link back to you and being the top so that when we search ref, which I
All
would
right.
do now, but then it's going to delete you from my thing.
I can do that. I can do that
You
with
can
my
do it.
UK.
Oh, but you also want to go in private browsing because if you search yourself, here's a tip for everyone who's still here and paying attention. If you don't search in private browsing, it will usually show you more because you've clicked on things about yourself. So it doesn't give you uh, a proper picture.
So the thing with RIS is like, so basically, I type in RIS and it comes like Radiological Information System on Wikipedia.
Oh,
Then RIS on Wikipedia can mean like a disambiguation page or whatever it's called. And then like, so there's a lot of physical terms. Like I'm literally like, there's like so many physical terms like that mean RIS. But also because RIS is such a short name,
yeah.
like, because like, and I feel
It's
like,
found in, you know, even if it's a part of a word, that makes it harder to find.
yeah, it can be in so many things. So it's like, and I think that's like, it's not the end of the world out of by all
No,
means, by any means.
it's not because also I don't think you have that much like music to compete with or like
Not
sexy things, you know, it's more like it sounds like these kind of terms. So once you get some press, it's going to be like that's what people are going to be more interested in. And I'm sure obviously if you search like wrist poppy, you're all over or at least
I
like your main links.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because when you go to artists on RIS, there's like some defunct bands, basically. Again,
Oh,
which like defunct bands from like wherever in the
well,
fuck,
they'll be
like
easy to beat because they don't exist anymore. But yeah,
we can.
literally, once you release your next single, like you should screenshot it now for yourself so you feel really cool when you release your next single and then you'll be able to see like, oh, look, before it was all this Wikipedia shit and now look at me, like I'm half of the front page. And
And
then
I
in
can.
like another year and another couple releases, you'll be like, bitch, all you find is me. Google me, bitch.
Like yeah, then physicists can't find shit. They literally just like find like vulnerables, poppies, and all these kinds of shit.
Yeah.
It's like just yeah, just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just you'll know later. But but also, so I have like question. I have certain questions. So for example, kind of how did you get your playlist? Like how did you get your playlists, like playlist positions before the video? Because you got some really
hmm
good stuff. Like you got Queer Necessities.
hmm
You got, I think you got some Billboard stuff even before that. I'm not sure. I don't
No,
remember.
well, I got, what did I get? I got Queer Necessities once. That was the first thing. And
Yeah.
then yeah, then it was just the video. But then in between there was like the Billboard scandal stuff. So I wasn't on Billboard, but me and Billboard were in a lot of articles together. But I mean I can send you, you know, information for those people, but basically it's someone that I know. So that I
Yeah.
met through one of my clients. He actually found my client and added him without me pitching because I didn't even know that playlist existed. That was like a year ago, April, so like 14 months ago. And we just woke up to him being on that playlist and we were like, oh shit. I was like, I wish I could take credit for getting this to you, but I can't. Um, and then yeah, he lives in New York, so you know, he came to an event and I met him and then, you know, now we follow each other on Instagram and stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean his Instagram is John Ollie. I'm sure you might have
I,
seen.
I
I'm
follow it.
assuming if you should know if you weren't stalking properly, you got a
I
lot of work to do.
yeah, I follow him. I know of Davy Boy, but I don't know who Davy Boy is. So no
Davy
idea.
Boy is an artist, but he also yeah his playlist is kind of popping too. But all the playlists that I got on, there was some like what'd you say?
No, no, we be new. Yeah.
Like I was like
Yeah.
oh, I mean he also does like really cute graphics and stuff, so I'm not surprised, but I'm just like oh go ahead. Like I get
She's
like
the
30
yeah.
listeners or something from that a month. And he's so nice to keep me on, even though my song is like 4 months old at this point. I'm like, Davey, thank you so much. I promise I'm gonna have another song for you. And he's like, it's cool, don't worry. Um, but yeah, for me, getting on playlists was part Submit Hub, and I was lucky to get on some big Submit Hub ones. Like there were two like Argentinian ones from El Quilombo. Those are 3 credits though. They're $3 to pitch to. So I was scared, but I was like, bitch, I know this is like a pop top 40 track. So they let me on and I was super hyped. And Yeah, I'm still on one of theirs, their smaller one, but it still's like decent listeners. So Submit Hub, then pitching to a few just kind of independent ones that I found. Like I saw Andrea was on some like new Pride playlist or something, so
Yeah.
I clicked
I
on
really
it
like
and
fucking Cap.
pitched them.
I really like the sign ones. I'm like, I believe in signs so much. I know all
Oh
my fucking
yeah, so
moves.
that's run by Chani Nicholas, and Andrea knows her. And I tagged you actually on Twitter in her post asking for queer artists, but she didn't put
Oh,
us
bitch
on.
doesn't have
She didn't
Twitter.
put us on.
It's dumb.
I know. No, it's okay. But Andrea was like, "Oh, I sent your music to her directly, so you might be on this like Pride month." And I was like so excited, and I was like, "Oh, it didn't happen." But she has my music, so maybe July. Because I feel like June's gonna be more like an uplifting. I'm sure she wanted to keep it more uplifting for like Pride month, because a
Yeah.
lot of the people on there are LGBT, even every month. Um, so I'm like, well, maybe next month we'll be allowed to be depressed again, and she'll put me on. But yeah, I mean, that's really just been it. Like making friends. Making friends has gotten me on. That's the reason I'm on as many playlists as I am. Even if it's a small playlist, like that's been the reason. Like Andrea, Davey, Michael,
Like,
Solomon Ray has one. Jolie has one who's in chat right here.
hi Joe.
So yeah, make a Spotify playlist. That was also in my week 2. I was like, see, this is good bringing a guest because then I can also remind people which weeks to watch for specific things. So week 2, I have my is when we talked about like Spotify playlists and stuff. So one of my big things in there is make your own Spotify playlist, because when people see you sharing them, they'll be more excited to share you. And the more your playlist grows, then the more and more excited they'll be to share. Like I put Davey Boy and Michael Madrano on my playlist, I think before Davey started his queer playlist. So, and we kind of became friends through that, and also through like all that Billboard drama stuff, because we were, everyone's just talking. I feel like that's honestly what helped me meet so many people that I just didn't know existed. But yeah, making a playlist has been huge, and we hit 80 followers on our playlist. I feel like I'm so massive. I feel viral. 2 years ago, I remember 2 years ago, I had like 10 followers. So it's taken a long time to grow. But I feel, that's pretty fast.
It's like it grows.
It's grown 8 times in 2 years. Imagine.
800%, honey. That's growth. That's like
That's exponential. That's massive. Does anyone out there have any questions? I mean, you can keep asking me questions too, Riss. But if anyone else has any questions for Riss or for marketing, anything that we've talked about that has sparked anything in your mind, let me know. Otherwise, Riss and I will keep talking for a little bit, but I don't want to keep you too late because I know it's getting late there. Jolie said, I think queer artists sharing each other's music is how we all succeed. Amen, because here's the thing. Oh, that was a silent tongue pop. Only I can do those. That's the thing, because there's so few places that will cover queer artists and LGBT artists and still put them kind of through their mainstream channels. Like Billboard does that, Paper does that, and those are kind of it. Like you can get great coverage on an LGBT site, and I'm definitely not complaining about that, but I'm saying the mainstream places don't do a good job most of the time of sharing queer artists, because if they have their like queer section, sometimes they don't post about it on social media, or their social media just isn't that big. So it's good to have like Billboard that not only shares it through Billboard Pride, but also shares it through their Billboard account that has millions of followers, and Paper Magazine, who isn't explicitly an LGBTQ outlet. Obviously they do a ton of that coverage, but just having them share it, and all those types of things. So not just cordoning us off and hiding us in like the Out Now playlist or something, which again is a huge opportunity that I think all of us would be hyped to get in, but it takes a while. It takes longer for us queer artists to get discovered by Spotify and get put on things. So that's why also the astrology thing is super awesome, because the astrology playlists are very heavily queer, but they're listened to by a lot of just everyone. Hi Joey, yes, and then parading us out once a year. So it's like, girl, can we get this energy year round? There's some place that was like, oh, this song wasn't for us, but let us know when you release another one. We'd love to put you in our LGBT section. And I'm like, I would love to be in the LGBT section, but can you also just like, will I be hidden, or
Offensive,
straight
like
people can like my music too? The fuck?
yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like it's really
Hi,
offensive.
Joey.
It's like that you're kind of like reduced to like a mood, to like, oh, I'm like in the mood to listen to gay music.
I
It's
want to
like,
be cunty today.
yeah, I wanna be a bad bitch today. So it's like, oh, I'm like doing this and that and that. It's like, well, because it's also reducing us to like stereotypes, and it's like reducing us as LGBT people to like certain kind of like archetypes of like LGBT
Hmm.
people. Like to like some of us are going to be sissy, some of us are going to be this, some of us are going to be that, and it's
Right.
like you're not kind of like allowed to like escape beyond that, because it's like because you're seen as like, and it's like, yeah, and I feel like that's like a really big thing that, to be fair, things are starting to break up now, like
I
in other
agree.
industries, like in the music industry definitely is as well, but like in other industries, but like I'm really just like praying and hoping for my own kind of like well-being, and like obviously for all of us, that like people don't see like the LGBT stars to be like, well, we have one twink here who's doing really well, and we have one, like a couple of bisexual women that are doing really well, and we have this like
Right.
an artist who's doing really well. We're good for now. Like, just call us in 10 years.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, we have enough boxes checked. Like,
not
you
enough
guys have
boxes.
your diversity. Like, we hit our quota. We don't need any more. But like, thanks so much and good luck.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, queer art is not a monolith. Amen, Jolie. And we're more than the stereotypes. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, I feel like, it has to be very pop, or it has to be, it has to fit a certain box. And if it doesn't, then it's less attractive, And that also probably goes back to kind of, like other things within the LGBT community, like racism and misogyny and transphobia and all of that stuff, where it's like we as LGBT people have to make sure we're lifting up the whole LGBT, because the straight people are, the straight people might uplift some gay people, or like Kim Petras, or
Yeah.
like the hot girls and the hot people. And I mean, not to say that trans or other people are not hot, that's not what I mean at all. I just mean like the people who are like like in your face,
Yeah.
who as society would typically deem as like, the girl next door or that type of thing, like, oh, America's sweetheart. So
So
we as gay people especially have to make sure that we're lifting up all of these other people, so they get into the queer mainstream, so then they can slowly start to get into the mainstream. And that's, I think that's why it's like, if you look at a lot of lists, it's like gay white pop. I'll even include myself in that, even though I'm not feeling white. It's gay white pop and like the hot passing trans woman, and that's it.
yeah, yeah.
And your token Lizzo, and it's like,
Like, I think I think the other thing is also like, because when people are trying to like put you in a certain box, it's like I feel like was, I don't want to like, I don't know how to phrase that, to be fair, but it's like it's a little bit like, unless the issue is like like if you're not like a flaming homosexual, they don't see it as like, it's like you
right.
you you kind of try coming off as like a flaming homosexual who's like,
Right.
and it's like, and like that, and you're like that 24/7, because I feel like that's the thing, like we use a lot of like cliches and stereotypes about ourselves to make fun of those stereotypes, and to use like a lot of like irony, and like the way that we kind of like perform our sexualities and perform
Mm-hmm.
our identities. But then for like straight people, that's like it literally goes like that, and it's like, and they
Yeah.
don't that, and they're like, and they use it seriously, and it's kind of like, where do you kind of, and you end up, and I feel like for at least for me, like that's a little bit of a fear sometimes, which is like, to like end up at a point where it's like you have this like amazing following that's like made up of people who actually don't see that certain things aren't like like you're not making certain things, like certain, like that, like a lot of people are like taking what you're doing like to be something serious, instead of like something that you're like making fun of those like stereotypes, if that's making any sense at this point.
Yeah, no,
But
that does. Ross, that's something you have to check. That's kind of a, I would say that's kind of a discriminatory thought that has no basis in,
what is that? What?
just saying like you prefer people that are like more male, like more masculine. So I think there's a way to say like you can be more attracted to that type of person, but you also really have to check that and see what does that mean, like prefer people, like do I only want to hang out with these type of people. um or am I judging certain people a different way? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to phrase that properly, but I mean, you have to always check your own discriminations and bias. And I'm saying that to Ross since Ross brought it up, but it goes for everyone because there is a lot of femme shaming in the queer community. There's a lot of misogyny. There's a lot of this. So, um, sometimes the LGBT community will celebrate it more, or maybe even the straight society will celebrate it more because, like you were saying, it's like the performative thing that they kind of expect. They're like, oh yeah, that's the gay guy. That's the stereotypical gay guy. Yeah, love him. Love him. Or it's like, oh, there's that masked dude. He's just like me, but he's gay. We're best buds. And then it's like when you get in between that, that's where
Who are you? Like we don't get. I can't break you down into like the boxes that I know for myself. So it's
right.
like I just gonna reject you. I'm just gonna go on about my day and just reject you and just say like, no, not for me. Like not my type. Just like not my vibe or something. And it's
Right.
like,
Instead of trying to understand something different that, there's been times where I've been like, why is it that I'm like only attracted to more masculine guys? And then I challenge myself to like, okay, well, let me go on like dates with different people that I don't normally find myself like that's the first person I gravitate towards. And then you go and you slowly start to like break down your thoughts and your own processes and realize, yeah, it was just kind of like it was this internalized thing of maybe on one hand I just don't relate to that type of energy, but maybe also it was kind of an internalized thing of
homophobia, or like
homophobia or just not being comfortable with like expressing myself or other people expressing themselves in a certain way.
the
That's
other
a good
thing
way to
that
say it, Joe. It's all a learning process. Continue.
it's like the other thing that I found like in particularly in that because that's a really interesting thing of like being attracted to like masculine like more masculine people. I feel like it's sometimes it's also about like fetishizing that masculinity because like
Yeah.
because for example it's like a queer
Hashtag
person.
James Charles.
Uh, because basically because you're doing that like because when it's something that you don't see in yourself and like when it's something that you're raised to kind of like not to like not yours as in yourself or like not to identify within yourself and
Mm-hmm.
also like or like maybe you internally reject it within yourself. Sometimes you may start being like fetishizing it, being like, oh, that's like maybe I need that to complete me, maybe I want that and stuff like that. And it's
Right.
like and in the end of the day you still don't see the actual person, you just see their like masculinity or like you kind of create this image of the person based on your perception of their masculinity. And it's like and you're not allowing that person to be themselves, you're just allowing that person to kind of exist in your like in the box that you're putting them in. Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like gay people like we've been put like gay queer people like just LGBT people like we've been put in boxes so much that like we're so good at doing that to ourselves and to others in
Right.
our own community. It's literally just like
And
just feeling that and you're like this that and that and it's like
right. And there's still like the social hierarchy to it of like kind of like what you were saying where we're looking at like masked partners where it's like, oh, like I'm gay but I'm not that gay. Like yeah, I'm gay but I'm still one of the cool ones. Where it's like you're trying to avoid being the full gay or whatever. Obviously these terms are very like problematic, but it's like people, saying like, "Oh, I'm not gay cuz or like I'm not that gay," like blah blah blah, like trying to just one up, always trying to one up.
to be fair, what I found because I feel like at this point in my kind of like social surrounding, I don't communicate with people like that at all. Like they're not even like
Yeah,
in
me
my
neither.
environment. But then what I see a lot, and like it's not necessarily like very like close people, but like what I see a lot as the kind of the top of the hierarchy aren't necessarily those people that, but they are those kinds of like very kind of out and proud like white normally gay men who are pretty
Mm-hmm.
hairless or pretty ripped everywhere, and it's like who like either have successful jobs, probably corporate jobs. If you come to like when you come to London, we're gonna take you out in Soho, and you're gonna like you literally gonna leave. And but yeah, but kind of that like most kind of palpable like gay, which is like who are like LGBT person who has like literally the least amount of like any kind of like issues and like the most amount of privilege. And it's like and that's the most acceptable for like for that society that's like that doesn't understand how to put where to put everybody else.
Right.
Because then they see kind of like yeah, because then maybe they see like a mixed race like trans woman who like who's like who I don't want to go too deep into like any descriptions because I'm not educated to that point where like I feel comfortable with like not like offending some
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, so basically but essentially and being like I don't know where to put you because it's like I don't know where you exist in the spectrum of identity that I've drawn in my head of like what's acceptable and like what's like what I want around me.
Right. People just accept like the poster child
Yeah,
gay.
yeah, and they'd be like, oh, I'm okay with gays. I don't hate
They
gays.
go with gays and then they ignore the LBT plus.
Plus, yeah, QIAA. It's like,
Right. Like I'll
where?
take 1 out of 7. That counts, right?
Yeah,
Iris
that's
asked a
that's
question. Oh, continue. What were you gonna say?
no, nothing. That's my daily intake of like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Iris, hello. She asked, and this is for everyone. Do you think songs like Miley featuring RuPaul helping to become mainstream, or is it fueling the stereotypes? So, do you think that like Miley featuring RuPaul is like a thing for RuPaul, like great uplift to this person who was kind of questionable in the first place, or is it because the song's like catitude and it's like nasty, cunty, like is that bringing the cuntiness into the mainstream? Is that cool, or is it kind of like,
Can I say something? Can I?
yes, go ahead. I've only heard
I
it like once, so I don't fully know.
I've heard it like twice, and I, like the second time was with the lyrics, and I
I
was
was like,
like,
this is really nasty.
this isn't really like the best use of like, I enjoyed RuPaul's verse because it was disgusting, and but then like Miley wasn't actually nasty. Like Miley wasn't really nasty. Like it was really RuPaul who was nasty, and like
Mm.
Miley was just I'm nasty, nasty, and it's like
Mm.
okay, cool. Like it's like show me something. Like show me something.
So she's leaving the dirty work up to the black gay person.
Yeah, like
She's getting the accolades, but if the
giving third person to the person who's like expected, to the person
mm,
who she knows she is gonna deliver, and like she in comparison, is gonna like the thing is, do you know what it is though? Like I feel like I don't wanna like put way too much meaning behind it also because I don't feel like it like my personal opinion, I don't feel like that song is that good of a song. To the
mhm,
point where I don't feel like to the point where the fact that she's not nasty, I don't feel like it's because I'm not 100% sure that there was much intention behind it or because they just didn't know how to make her nastier. Because I feel like if they
right.
could make her nastier, they would have made her nastier. But the song is just and because I don't feel like she's necessarily a person who's gonna use the community as much. Like I
Right.
I'm not personally like aware of like how much of an activist she is, but like I have I don't at least are there like does anyone have any examples of like some like blatant like exploitations that she's done of like the community? Because I don't at least I can't think of any like that.
I don't know about LGBT people. I mean, obviously during like her Bangers era, there was a lot of talk about that. I know she does have like nonprofit and stuff, so like she does
Well,
do work, but that doesn't always necessarily, doing
I just
something great doesn't necessarily excuse or cancel out if you've done something bad. But I don't know things exactly. You think Miley, Jolie said Miley is capitalizing on popular counterculture. I can agree with that. I do think, I mean, like Miley Cyrus's Dead Pets, I feel like she was kind of doing that then. I actually didn't listen to any of those songs. I mean, I guess you could say even with bangers, like I wouldn't say that like black culture and black music is counterculture, but I guess you could kind of argue that just in the sense of, white people are very much like, oh, I like all kinds of music except country and rap. Or, like that type of thing. Or like, I like all music except rap. Or, where it's like seen as something that's like different, or out of the realm. I think that's a good way to put it though.
Yeah, I feel to be, I feel like I'm just not sure, and I'm just not sure if she is like like capitalizing on like counterculture, because RuPaul has been in the mainstream, like not in the mainstream, but like RuPaul has been
Right.
around on the fringes of the mainstream at least
Yeah.
for the 25 years,
I mean, yeah,
and
he been in movies. He had a talk show.
he's been in so much stuff, and it's like and at this point like I'm just like not 100% sure because it's like because I wouldn't say she's necessarily going to be like targeting like RuPaul fans or something like that, like who goes to RuPaul for his music, like who are like genuine RuPaul music fans, like RuPaul's music is an extension of his personality, like many drag queens music is,
Yeah.
which is fine, and like it's functionally effective for them, but like it doesn't really breed like a musical and like audience, like a musically kind of like oriented audience. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like apart from the fact that like her fans can be like, oh, like this song is like with RuPaul, who's RuPaul or something like that. Like I feel like you can read those situations in many ways, and like not specifically because of that situation, but like I personally am trying to like just like to kind of like take a step back and like not necessarily like for myself like see everything as like a negative. Like I'm at least I don't know. I'm trying to like see things from like as many perspectives as possible.
Yeah.
Like out kind of like, and like that's like from my personal kind of way of being like, is someone actually trying to hurt a community, or like maybe they're just not very aware, maybe there's like a positive to that, or maybe there's like more negatives to something else. And it's like, I don't know, because they're all so much more complicated issues, and we can like discuss and like be like kind of like pop analysts, like pop culture analysts, all like literally like into the night.
Yeah.
But there are like many layers to this kind of stuff, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so many sociological and like so many kinds of like identity layers to these things, that it's like, yeah. Anyway.
Agree. Okay, well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but we do have some people here that weren't here in the beginning, so I'm gonna share your links one more time, and I'm also going to share, I want to replay that snippet of Vulnerable. So everybody, this is Riss, if you haven't been around. He's a pop artist, very dramatique, as you can tell from his Instagram name, but he makes really good music. He went to school for songwriting, and has amazing lyrics and an amazing song called Poppy out that came out in March, and he has another song called Vulnerable coming out eventually. I won't say soon because we never know. I always say new, and then 6 months later I release it.
Girl. Yeah. Come on, video for Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I'm like, I thought I was gonna have my EP for like Happily Ever After. I thought I was gonna have the EP that's on out next month originally. Bitch, I might not even have my second single out by then. We'll see.
Is it all produced with the same guy as well?
No, I'm doing all the rest myself because I cannot afford to. I spent $2,500 on one song, so I can't afford to do that again. That's like how much I make in like 5 months. So I literally saved since I lived in New York. That was like, well, I've been saving a little bit of money. Might as well use it for this. Jolie added you to Spotify. Yes. Connect on. Riss has Instagram, but not Twitter. So find each other there. Jolie's another artist on my playlist as well, with a song called Sweet Love that's amazing. Okay, but let me play Vulnerable for the girls. Again, this is just a snippet. Just a snippet for you. Coming out eventually. Hi, Faye! Doesn't he sound amazing? Oh my god.
I could tell you that somebody loves me. I could tell you that I'm happy now. But my voice will crack and let me down. 'Cause you never even said goodbye. 'Cause you left things out of silence.
Just this instrumentation, Submit Hub will not resist.
Great.
Okay, I have to stop at 45 seconds, you guys. I'm sorry. And then I'll play us out. I mean, I'm still gonna stream after this, but we're gonna let I almost called you Poppy. We're gonna let Poppy. We're gonna let Riss go because it's about to be frickin' 10 p.m. there.
It's like quarter to 10. It's like quarter to 10. Yeah.
So he needs some sleep. He needs to eat more. He needs to rest and, you know, just get ready for bed and everything. But everybody, please follow Riss, and thank you so much for coming and spending your time here and talking. This is another song, Poppy, in the background, by the way.
I don't hear anything though. Like that's why I'm just like sitting here like.
Yeah, he can't hear it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and like I am gonna watch like podcast number 1 and number 2 100% right now.
Yeah, those are the best ones, to be honest. Or those two, and then maybe I forgot like 3 or 4 where I kind of do like a walkthrough on like the pitching itself of like here's what it really looks like, here's kind of timing of it. I mean, you can honestly, like, the videos are kind of long. They're not the most exciting, but they have a lot of information, so you can kind of, like, skip forward, like, minute by minute until you hear something, and then you're like, oh, that's the minute I should watch, you know? And that's for everyone. Like, the videos are great. I am also adding them onto YouTube.
Good, great.
Finally, it's just taking a long time, so I'm gonna put on, like, the first 3 or 4 this week, hopefully. But otherwise, they're in my Twitch collections. And I don't know exactly what parts of this video I'll use because we kind of just steered into LGBT territory for a while, which is fine. Maybe I'll just keep it all, but we'll see. But yeah.
Oh, just delete that thing for the video camera. That's
yeah, and your name and your full name. I'll delete that too. But Riz, thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. I'm gonna link it again.
It's like 10. It's like 10 here. It's like dark already.
We watched the sun set on
Honey, we
Riz.
watched it like sunset. Like my skin got from glowy to like oily at this point.
My skin has been shining the whole time, so welcome to the club. Okay, but good night. Thank you again, and I will talk to you on Instagram, and hit me up about like whatever, you know, emails and things and all that stuff. Okay.
That's amazing. That sounds amazing. And yes, you guys keep streaming Kisos because he's so amazing and so positive and so beautiful. And it's like, you better. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.